Both the Falcons and the Aggies came into Falcon Stadium 2-0 on the year. And if you were looking for defense, well, you were watching the wrong game. The lead changed 5 times, and there were more than 1,200 yards of offense combined in Utah State's 49-45 win over Air Force. The Falcons actually had 619 yards of offense, the 9th most in program history, including 437 yards on the ground. But Utah State had 628 yards, the 8th most all-time against the Falcons. 448 of those were through the air.
Credit to them. I mean, I thought, golly, man, they are highly, highly skilled. You just look at, how dynamic they are in the open field.
In fact, Utah State's 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns came on plays of 72 yards and 61 yards to erase an 11-point lead. The porous defense and costly turnovers contributed to the loss. There were 5 lead changes throughout the game, but it came down to an Air Force fumble with 2.5 minutes left that secured the win for the Aggies. To start the game, the Falcons struck first when Micah Davis ran in from 5 yards out for the first of his 2 touchdowns just 3 minutes and 14 seconds into the game. The big play of the drive, a 59-yard Hezek Daniels pass to tight end Kyle Patterson on just the 5th play of the game. The Falcons tacked on a Matthew DePore field goal to make it 10-0, but Utah State took a 13-10 lead on back-to-back touchdown drives. That's when Falcons quarterback Hezek Daniels threw his first touchdown pass of the season to Davis for 56 yards, and the Falcons were back on top, 17-13. Air Force added a 3-yard touchdown to Dane Kinnaman to take a 24-13 lead at halftime. But Utah State scored 3 third-quarter touchdowns to go ahead 34-21. Air Force answered back on the strength of a 55-yard run by a little-used running back, Emmanuel Michel, to lead 38-31 through the end of 3.
I expected, my number to be called today, and I just want to be ready to go.
Falcons quarterback Hezek Daniels added a 39-yard run to give Air Force an 11-point lead, 45-34, with 10:30 left in the 4th. Utah State answered back with 2 touchdowns in a total of 9 plays and went ahead with just 4 minutes left. That's when the Falcons marched down the field, but on a run, Daniels was stripped of the ball by Utah State's leading tackler, Justin Rice, and the Aggies recovered on the 25-yard line. It was Daniels' 2nd turnover of the game.
So running lane, tried to get extra yards, fight for extra yards. The ball just got stripped, got to be tougher with the ball. Nothing too complex about it.
Utah State ran out the clock for the final 2.5 minutes to win by 4. Michel had a breakout day, leading the Falcons with 134 yards on 11 carries and 2 touchdowns. Fullback Brad Roberts added 113 yards. Micah Davis had 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 receiving. And Daniels, for his part, passed for 182 yards and a touchdown, his first of the season. He also added 97 yards on the ground and 2 scores, but also had an interception in the red zone. Despite the miscues, Calhoun expressed confidence going forward in his junior quarterback. Bright spots on the defensive side of the ball, safety Corbin Taylor had 6 tackles and an interception. Linebacker Vince Sanford led the team with 9 tackles, including 2 quarterback sacks. The loss drops the Falcons to 2-1 on the season, and they know why they lost. For defensive tackle Jordan Jackson, there's motivation going into next week's contest against Florida Atlantic.
I think it's kind of good we have this now. I'd rather have this happen earlier in the season than later in the season. Get us back on track. You win 2 games, you think you're untouchable maybe, so taking this loss now, get on the chin, bounce back next week, and that's the only thing we can do.
And the Florida Atlantic Owls are coming off 2 straight wins. This final note, last week's loss to Utah State was just the 3rd time in program history the Falcons scored 45 points and lost.